You see, most of the time that I'm doing this, a lot of the setup is mostly just making sure that my room is clean-ish, and then also making sure that I have some kind of wallpaper that is usually just a pause for a YouTube video intro. So that's me. Hello, my name is Peter Rizzo, and welcome to the Peter Jab Project channel, and another episode of Project EOE, Echoes of Emily. I looked up the chakras. I did. I found out I was very wrong about them, but I still might use them because, let me just... There's the crown chakra, the third eye, the throat, the heart, the solar plexus, the sacral, and the root. I don't know if I'm saying sacral right. But anyway, I found this one little image that lists them off and gave little things about what they are. So for example, the crown one is I understand. There's knowledge, fulfillment, and spirituality. The third eye is about I see. It's intuition, meditation, and trust. The throat one is I talk, communication, expression, and creativity. Heart is I love, acceptance, compassion, sincerity. The solar plexus is I do, strength, power, and determination. The sacral, I can't tell if I wrote an A or an O. My handwriting is garbage, but it's there. I know it says party guest because that was also some of the notes there. I'm exposing myself here. Just candid. Then there's the root. No, wait, I didn't say sacral. It's been a week, y'all. Anyway, so sacral, sacral, sacral. I should just look this up. But at the same time, if I turn on my laptop, the fan is real noisy. And if I turn on my phone, then it doesn't record. So anyone who wants to go buy me a video recorder, preach. I won't pay you back. But sacral is I feel, sensuality, pleasure, sociability. Root is I am, stability, comfort, and safety. I'm trying to tie a certain aspect of each of these to the task that she wants to complete. And I think I'm doing a pretty good job, because I do has a lot to do with strength and power. And so one of the things on my bucket list is to do one wrestling match at least, and just kind of have fun with it. And win or lose, it's just oh, I did that thing. I was a wrestler. I did one match, but I was a wrestler. I talk stand-up comedy, another thing that I would like to try. I know I won't be good at, but I will try it and bomb horribly. But I will say that I was a comedian. And so that kind of works with the throat one with I talk, with communication, expression, and creativity. You know, it kind of gets the vibe. I am, stability, comfort, and safety. That one is what I'm associating with the nude painting that I was talking about last week. This one is about vulnerability and being comfortable with being vulnerable. And I think that's kind of highlighted through having his friends almost judge and critique them. And I think that's nice. I went to go get Indian food with that friend of mine that does nude paintings and all that, and I told them pretty much what I thought of too. And I never had Indian food before. It is really good, a little spicy, and I'm not much of a spicy guy, but it was a good amount of spice. It was more seasoning and spices rather than, oh, this is just hot for the sake of being hot and ooh, burn your mouth. No, there was flavor in it. I think that was a big part of what made it so enjoyable to me. I have been slammed with a lot of assignments, so sadly I've been not able to write as much as I want to. I'm still making progress, and I'm still very proud of that progress. But I'm working on other projects, I'm working on the podcast, and I'm working on all my assignments, and I also still have to go to, work. It's hard to juggle those things, and I don't want to sound like a broken record on this one, but it is hard to juggle. But I am recording this a little later just because of that, and I think I might start doing these a little later, just since Wednesdays I am a little bit more free and more willing to wake up and be let's hammer this stuff down, because I only have a late class and then that's about it. And so it helps. We're closing in on fall break here. The next week. Next week is fall break, so that will be nice. I get to catch up on assignments. I also get to do midterms. Yay! Something I'm so unbelievably happy about. He says with deception in his voice. He says with such sarcasm. But I am so excited to write this because I'm kind of like, okay, I found the pieces, I found the building blocks. I've even nailed down like the guests that that Emily is meeting at the party. For example, there's Zaya, who she meets right off the bat. There's Alistair, who calls himself Ace. Nobody calls him Ace, but he says people call him Ace. Ugh. There's Trey and Arya, named after my nephew and my niece, respectively, because I wanted to have them incorporated in the show and be sort of these guiding lights like they have been to me. Because, you know, I want to start a family one day, and, you know, I'm 23. I think that a lot of people at this point in their life are either set on getting to that point or already at that point or acknowledging that they don't want to be at that point. And I don't know, you know, I can't start a family right now, let me say that. I am not financially stable for that. And I think I just realized that this microphone isn't on. Uno momento. Y'all, there's a red light that tells me if the microphone is on or not. And it just came on. I've been recording for 8 minutes. Fuck, I'm not redoing that. It's because of that damn cable. You know, the adapter wasn't in all the way. But it's on now, as I can see. And you can probably hear me better here. Like, I want to tap it, but at the same time, I don't want to hurt y'all's ears. So I shouldn't tap it. But anyway, so there's Zaya, there's Alistair, there's Trey, there's Arya, there's Gwen, and then there's Miles, who are named after the Spider-Man characters, Gwen Stacy and Miles Morales, just because I always love when they explore those characters and the perspectives that they have as being a female and a person of color in Spider-Man's situation. And I was like, you know, I'm Peter. Wouldn't it be cool if I named my kids Gwen and Miles one day? You know, I don't think that will happen, but if it does, that's kind of cool. And that's something I want to highlight in the show, is different perspectives. I'm still, like, getting this all down, getting it understood. And they all have their own little thing. So, like, there's the 1950s kind of costume with the poodle skirt. There's a nerdy wizard. There's a little frat boy in a fireman's outfit who's like, yeah, you know, sexy fireman. Blech. I made a lot of faces right there. I'm rambling off because, if I'm honest, I gotta get to other assignments, but I felt the need to talk to this, and I know this doesn't have a large audience at the moment. Maybe it never will have a large audience. But I think that the fact that I can verbalize this and talk it out is more helpful for me. And that's something I try to value in my content, is that whenever I write a song, whenever I write a play, whenever I do a performance or anything, I want to make it something that I enjoy. Nobody is going to all like the same one thing. Some people love Star Wars to death and made it their whole life, whereas there are some people who have never seen it and don't care to. There's some people who value video games like they are the epitome of art and culture, and there are some people who just don't play video games. And there are some people that praise a book for all of its clear writing, whereas some people will read the same book and think it's okay. And that's totally fine. We are complex creatures with different perspectives and different opinions. and art is subjective. If I were to create something that I like, I at least know that I have a fan base of one. And if some people like it too, that's even better. But it helps me to talk about the process, because then it lets me explain what I want to do and how I want to do it. For example, just yesterday, I met with one of my professors to talk about a creative project where we're thinking of doing something like, I teach people how to play ukulele, and then they have to like answer these prompts on like a cue card and make a song with it. So it's like, oh, what did you have for breakfast? Or your favorite color, or your dream vacation place, or childhood fear, yada, 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 yada. A lot of random bullshit that doesn't mean anything to the grand scheme of things. But the idea is that they will create something, and that is the first step to creating something great. Is to create something great. It's the first bit of that. It's pretty much the whole bit except for the last word. But I was just explaining it to them. They seemed to be very on board with it. One thing I didn't realize was they're no longer the advisor for the theater department, but the former advisor. She recently moved and had to leave her job at ASU. She was completely great. Robinson was an incredible advisor that helped me through a lot of struggles and helped me verbalize a lot of my ideas. And apparently she went to one of my professors and said, oh, Peter has a lot of weird but amazing ideas, and I think you guys should meet. And now I have a class with that professor, and they're kind of giving me off that same energy of, let's do something crazy, let's figure out how it works after the fact, and have fun. And that's really comforting, because it shows that people actually are able to value what I make and understand that they may not fully understand it, but can appreciate that they don't fully understand it. Or they might put their own meaning onto it, and that's totally okay too. Part of creating something is showing it to people other than you and getting their thoughts and opinions on it. It's kind of ridiculous to me how sometimes people will be like, oh, here's this guy that just goes online and critiques shows and talks about his opinions on them and why these characters are good or bad. That's kind of the intention. Talk about it, share it around, give your critique and opinion on it. Don't be an asshole that just says every negative thing into the wind, but have a reason behind it, have a logic behind it, and understand that somebody else will disagree with you and be okay with that disagreement. You don't have to become mortal enemies just because you have a different opinion on, I don't know, the new Spider-Man movie. Maybe we aren't meant to fully agree, and we aren't meant to fully comprehend art the same way as somebody else that has just watched the same piece next to him. That's okay. That is totally okay. I know this is a very rambly, off-tone thing with a lot of hiccups, but again, this is mostly for me, so I'm sorry, I just don't really care about the product. I care about the work I put into it. I'll see you guys later, and hope you have a good one. Rest, eat, drink, do something. I don't know. Look in the mirror and just kind of go give yourself a thumbs up. Maybe it helps.